which is what we called name a place. Bit bit hinay daw gamay. Hello, Elika. Ay, happy birthday di ay for John Michael Palubon. Bonbon.
Happy birthday, John
Happy birthday,
Michael.
Bon. So now we will start our game. Next slide. So this game, the I is about I name a place. So ang amo ang nice sa screen mag-prompt lang ang kuan kanang emojis and i-guess din ninyo ang name sa country or sa place in the world. So ang first nga makatubag siya ang makadaog sa prize. So like paunhanay ni sa chat box mga keyboard warriors. Ready na ba? Ready na ba ang tanan? Sige daw be kung atong i-test kung ready na ba ang tanan. Press 1 if ready na ang tanan. Wow, ready na sila. Nice, nice. So, daghan kay migi prepare diri nga items no. So like, yeah, and amazing prices are waiting for you. So, okay. Since ready na ang tanan, so let's go. Wala na tay kuan, wala na tay trial and error. Let's go with the game na. So, first item. And sama na siya, it's a country. Oh, I think we have a winner. Kinsang nakadaog. Very Kimbukjo. Okay, okay. The winner is si Regina. Okay, ano day guys? Oh, ikuan sa pag prompt sa emoji, dili pa mag-answer da ay daan. Kinahanglan mag-wait sa go signal ni James Hikilan. So si James Hikilan mag-go signal sa chat box
Monday ang
and
schedule.
after that, pwede na din mo maka-answer. So katong mag-answer before go signal ni James, dili to counted. So okay ba? So kining kuan, pero counted na ni siya kining first item. All right, so the answer is Belgium. Next item, unsa na siya nga country? Wow. Ay, joke. Unsa man na siya nga country? Wrong. I think wala pa naka-answer. No. No. Hint na lang. So, hint kay naa siya sa Europe. Oh, nice hint. Wrong. Country siya, country. Wrong, dili. Hala, 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 hala. Yeah, nanay naka-answer. Nanay naka-answer. Tan the correct answer is Hungary. Ang naka-answer kay si Regina. Kisa to mga geography nga kuan diya. Next item. Ang girl nito guys, daghan magpagkaon tapos gutom daw tong nasa emoji. Next item kana siya. Unsa na siya nga country? No. Country. Alright. I think nanay naka-correct. Nanay naka-correct. Si Kinsa. Ang answer kay Tonga. So, si Lizelle Ascaret ang naka-correct. Okay, next. Next item. Na, go. No, wrong. Dili na Iceland. Wrong. No, wrong. I think South America. Yeah, correct. I consider la lang ko ano, tingali ka ng uppercase, lowercase. Unsa? Ay, depende sa kuan, moderator sa chatbox. Silang James, mabahala na. Kinsa nakadawg ato? Ay, consider na daw. The answer is Chile. Si Regina Gyapon. Wow, Regina, grabe. Pinagpala. Next item. Kada, go. Nice, nice. Nanay answer. Nanay naka-answer, I think.
Sino to?
Si JR Dahuluran. Congrats, JR. Okay, so the answer is Madagascar. Next item. Go. Unsa na siya? No. Water girl. Dili. Ako bu. Pag sure. Lala siya sa kuan. Europe. Europe. Tapad sa Spain. Ano yung tao? Nana sa Europe. More hints koan be. Tapad sa Spain. Sa man. Ilahang gi colonize ang Brazil sa una. Tama. Nanay naka-answer, I think. Kinsay naka-answer ato. Ang answer kay Portugal. Mangga sa mga master diri sa ano no, history, geography, wow. Portugal. Naka-answer kay si Alaika. Marjuha. Okay, next item. Ana siya, go. Okay. Wrong. Country manggod. Country manggod. Sa corner. No. Naa siya sa ano, Africa. Dili. Wala siya sa Africa. Ay, be? Ay, dili. Asia di ay. Sorry. Asia. Africa no. Asia di Asia. Ubos sa India. Go, guys. Correct. I think that na answer. Correct. Ang answer kay Sri Lanka. Sorry na good. Nangka o good to. Lanka. Alright. So next item. Ano siya? Go, go, go. Wrong. Wrong. Clue. Kuan. Naa sa Africa. Tapad man tingalin ito sa Algeria. Correct. Masira lang sila eh. Ang answer kay Tunisia.
May klase.
Next item.
Wala na yata.
Kana.
Ano? Ba?
Asia siya. Asia.
Ano, ma'am?
I think tanay naka-correct. Ang answer ay kay Nepal. Hello, sir. Magpadaan pa mi, sir, or okay na?
I think okay na to.
Okay. So, thank you guys for participating. Wow, kayo ang mga master sa geography and history.
Sige, ma'am.
So, thank you guys. We will update you sa mga prizes sa mga nakadaog after ano.
Okay, you may proceed to your discussion. Ito na yung passport, ma'am. Mm. Mm. Ah, mm. Ah, Madaot ang quality, ma'am. Pag sa messenger.
Wait lang, sir, ha? Wait lang.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. So our topic for today is about audit software. So for those that together with me is Peter and James Pal. Topic we will discuss. We have three main objectives of this in this reporting. Next slide, please. So our three main objectives is the to identify different audit softwares available in the market and also to identify advantage and disadvantage of using audit softwares and to identify contemporary issues related to the audit softwares. So now we will have the discussion for audit softwares. Cats.
Next slide. Next slide. Hi everyone, this is Daniel Teodo, and now let's explore the audit softwares as CAATs for data extractions. Audit software is a type of a computer program that performs a wide range of audit management and assistant functions. This system is commonly used to help analyze and test accounting records. Before we learn from my co-members the different audit software available in the market, let's first plunge into the two general categories of CAATs for data extraction software. Next. As mentioned previously, tags for data extraction software generally fall into two categories. These are first, embedded audit modules, and second, general audit software. Next. Embedded audit modules. EM is specially programmed module embedded in a host application to capture predetermined transaction type for subsequent analysis. The objective of EM is to identify important transactions while they are being processed and extract copies. Next. And in the figure, for instance, the production transactions are being processed in the production application. The application has audit module intentionally embedded to capture selected production transaction. Though before the specified data is selected and captured, the auditor specified to the EEM the parameters and materiality threshold of the transactions to be captured. Afterwards, the application copies through EEM the production transaction that qualifies against the parameters and materiality threshold set by the auditor, whilst the same produces production output for intended users. Finally, the auditor subsequently reviews transactions selected by the EEM for the assessment of proper authorization, completeness, and accuracy of processing and correcting posting to
Ma'am,
accounts. Next,
um, gi-email na po nun.
general audit software. General audit software is is the most widely used CAAT for information system auditing. General General Audit Software or GAS allows auditor to access electronically. General Audit Software or GAS allows auditors to access electronically coded data files and perform various operations and their contents. Next. These are the audit tasks that can be performed using GAS. Quoting and balancing entire files or selected data items, selecting and reporting detailed data content on files, selecting stratified statistical samples from data files, formatting results of tests into reports. Next. Printing confirmation in either standardized or special wording, screening data and selectively including or excluding items, comparing two files and identifying any differences, recalculating data fields. Next. So using gas to access to access simple IT structures. For example, as depicted in the figure, an inventory file is
Upload natin doon.
inputted and read directly by the gas. The gas extracts information needed for the audit. The same as embedded audit modules, the auditor sets criteria for the data extractions. Next. Using gas to access complex structures. The presence of complex IT structure poses problem for the auditor. In spite of that, most database management systems have utility features that will reformat complex structures into flat files. The flat files are then run into GAS for the instructions of specific information needed by the auditor. Moreover, the auditor may seek for a help from an IT personnel if there's no built-in utility feature of the database management system. The auditor thereafter directs the IT personnel to create a special program that will format complex structures into flat files. And that's all for my report, and thank you.
Good day. I am Peter and I'm going to discuss the Audit Command Language or ACL software. In the past, public accounting firms developed proprietary versions of GAS or General Audit Software, which they used in the audits of their clients. More recently, software companies have serviced this market among them, and among them, ACL or Audit Command Language is the leader in the industry. ACL software is the preferred software tool of audit and financial professionals for data extraction, data analysis, fraud detection, and continuous monitoring. It is robust and yet easy to use. And this software expands the depth and breadth of your analysis, increases your personal productivity, and gives confidence to the findings. Also, ACL or the Audit Command Language was designed as a meta language for auditors to access data stored in various digital formats and to test them comprehensively. And the ACL has many benefits. So some of the activities that can be done in ACL is that with ACL you can perform analysis more quickly and efficiently, produce easy to understand reports, easily design, preview, and modify your results on screen with drag and drop formatting, identify trends, pinpoint exceptions, and highlight potential areas of concern, locate errors and potential fraud by comparing and analyzing files according to end user criteria, and identify control issues and ensure compliance with standards. And thus, and ACL has many commonly used features. So some of its commonly used features are classified into five, which are the data definition, customizing a view, filtering data, stratifying data, and a statistical analysis. And for the first one, which is the data definition, ACL was designed as a meta language for auditors to assess data stored in various digital formats and to test them comprehensively. And with this, ACL uses the data definition feature for this purpose. The data definition screen allows the auditor to define important characteristics of the source file, including overall record length, the name given to each field, the type of data contained in each field, and the starting point and length of each field in the file. Next, customizing a view. A view is simply a way of looking at data in a file. Auditors seldom need to use all the data contained in a file. ACL allows the auditor to customize the original view created during the data definition to one that better meets his or her audit needs. The auditor can create and reformat new views without changing or deleting the data in the underlying file. The auditor can easily delete and rearrange the data to facilitate effective usage. Next, filtering data. ACL provides powerful options for filtering data that support various audit tests. Filters are expressions that search for records that meet the filter criteria. ACL's expression builder allows the auditor to use logical operators such as and, or, greater than sign, less than sign, not, and others to define and test conditions of any complexity and to process only those records that match specific conditions. Next, stratifying data. ACL stratification feature allows the auditor to view the distribution of records that fall into specified strata. Data can be stratified on any numeric field such as sales price, unit cost, quantity sold, and so on. The data are summarized and classified by strata, which can be equal in size, called intervals, or vary in size, called free. And for the last one, ACL provides this feature called statistical analysis. ACL offers many sampling methods for statistical analysis. Two of the most frequent used are record sampling and monetary unit sampling, or MUS. Each method allows random and interval sampling. The choice of methods will depend on the auditor's strategy and the composition of the file being audited. On one hand, when records in a file are fairly even distributed across strata, the auditor may want an unbiased sample and will thus choose the record sample approach. That's all for my report, and I will now pass it down to Richard.
So good morning once again. So now my report is about enterprise resource planning. So today, the trend in information system is towards implementing high integrated, enterprise-oriented system. Organizations mix and match pre-coded software components to assemble the enterprise resource planning or ERP system. The best meets the business requirements. This means that an organization may need to change the way it conducts business to take full advantage of the ERP. Next slide, please. So ERP system, before we proceed to the ERP, I would like to have a quick background on the ERP or enterprise resource planning. So ERP or enterprise resource planning are multiple packages that involve primarily from traditional manufacturing resource planning or MRP2 systems. The objective of ERP is to integrate the key processes of the organization such as order entry, manufacturing, procurement and accounts payable, payroll, human resource, and also auditing. By doing so, a single computer system can serve the unique needs of each functional area. Designing one system that serves everyone is undertaking a massive proportion. Next slide. So we have in the ERP system, we have what we call the online analytical procedure or OLAP. An ERP is more than simply an elaborate transaction processing system. The OLAP is a decision support tool that supplies real-time information and permits timely decisions that needed to improve performance and achieve information retrieval, ad hoc reporting or analysis, and what if analysis. Some ERP support these functions with their own industry specific modules, that can be added to the core system. Other ERP vendors have designed their system to accept and communicate with specialized bot-on packages that third-party vendors produce. So now we'll proceed to bot-on software. So speaking of bot-on software, many organizations have found that only software alone cannot drive all the processes of the company. These firms used a variety of bolt-on software that third-party vendors provided. This software is outside the main enterprise software suite legacy system, typically coming from a third-party software supplier. Companies usually add bolt-on to the main system to perform specific because the existing enterprise software or legacy system don't do them well or don't do them at all. Most of leading ERP vendors have entered into partnership arrangements with third-party vendors that provide specialized functionality. The least risky approach is to choose the bolt-on that endorsed by ERP vendor. Some organizations, however, take more independent approach. So, next slide, please. We have different we have different implications of internal control and auditing on the ERP or internal or enterprise resource planning. So as with any system, the internal control and audit of ERP systems are issues. Key concerns are examined in the COSO framework. So first is transaction authorization. So a key benefit of ERP system is its tightly integrated architecture of modules. This structure, however, also poses potential problems for transaction authorization. For example, the bill of material drives many manufacturing system. If the procedure of our creation of bill of materials are not configured correctly, every component that use the bill of materials could be affected. The challenge for auditors in verifying transaction authorization is to gain the detailed knowledge of the ERP system configuration as well as through understanding the business processes and the flow of information between system components. And the next implication is the segregation of duties. Operational decisions in ERP-based organizations are pushed down to the point of as close as possible to the source of the event. Many processes that normally require segregation of duties, therefore, often eliminate in an ERP environment. For example, shop supervisors may order inventories from suppliers and receiving dock personnel may post inventory receipts to the inventory records in real time. And then the next is supervision. Because their traditional responsibilities will be changed, supervisors need to acquire an extensive technical and operational understanding of the new system. Typically, when an organization implements an ERP, many decision-making responsibilities are pushed down to the shop floor level. Next is accounting records. ERP system have the ability to streamline the entire financial reporting process. In fact, many organizations can add and do close their books daily. OLTP transaction processing data can be manipulated quickly to produce ledger entries, accounts receivable, and payable summaries and financial consolidation for both internal and external users. And next slide, please. Next on the implication is the independent verification. Because ERP system employ OLTP, traditional reconciling batch control numbers serve little purpose. So similarly, process reengineering to employ efficiency also changes the nature of independent verification. For example, the traditional three-way match of the purchase order, receiving report, and invoice, and the subsequent writing of the check may be completely automated in the ERP environment. And the next is access control. Access security is one of the most critical control issues in the ERP environment. The goal of ERP access control is to maintain data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And the internal control issues related to ERP rules are the process of creating, modifying, and deleting rules. Internal audit is the concern of managers and auditor skills. So the key concerns here is one, the criterion of unnecessary roles. The rule of least access should be applied to permission assignments and monitor role criterion and permission granting activities. And the contingency planning, then the implementation of ERP creates environment with single point of failure, which places the organization at risk from equipment failure, sabotage, and natural disaster. To control this risk, an organization needs an effective contingency plan that can invoke quickly in the event of the disaster. So those are the implications of the ERP on the audit and internal controls. Next slide, please. Next slide. So we have here the different leading ERP and audit softwares nowadays. So first is SAP. So founded in 1972, SAP is the leader of providing collaborative business solutions. By April 2005, it had an estimated 12 million users worldwide with more than 88,700 installations and more than 1,500 partners. So we have MySAP ERP Financials, MySAP ERP Operations, MySAP ERP Human Capital Management, MySAP ERP Corporate Services. But in the auditing, we have SAP Audit Management. SAP Audit Management is a software involving quality and automating internal auditing procedures. These in-memory audit softwares makes it quick and easy to document evidence, organize working papers, and create audit reports. It provides the analytical capabilities to shift the focus of internal audit from basic assurance to providing insight and advice. And SAP Audit Management automates internal audit procedures to cut costs and reduce elapsed time reporting. So according to my research, the cost for licensing of the MAP audit SAP Audit management is $1,300 base fee, additional $305 per pro, and additional 255 for limited per user per month. So next slide is the next slide, please. Oracle PeopleSoft. So founded in 1977 by Larry Ellison, Oracle was the first database management system to incorporate the SQL language. Oracle is the first software company to develop and deploy 100% internet-enabled enterprise software across the entire product line: database, business application, application development, and decision support tools. So Oracle has a different products also. We have the Oracle e-business suite. Is a complete and integrated set of enterprise applications. Uses a single unified data model that stores information for all applications in one place. And we have called PeopleSoft. So PeopleSoft Enterprise is a built-in on its pure internet architecture technology and designed for complex business requirements. And we have JD Edwards Enterprise One is a complete suite of modular, pre-integrated, industry-specific business application designed for rapid deployment and ease of administration on pure internet architecture. While the Oracle license audit, we have the Oracle license audit profits significantly from licensing fees of its essentially captive customer base. To maximize the revenue with minimum effort, Oracle audits the customer most likely to pay up. And then what we have is the Oracle Audit Vault and Database Firewall, or AVDF. It is a complete database activity monitoring, or DAM, solution that combines native audit data with network-based SQL traffic capture. AVDF includes an enterprise quality data warehouse, audit data warehouse, host-based audit data collection agents, powerful reporting and analysis tools, alert framework, audit dashboard, and multi-stage data firewall. And the next slide, please. Next slide is the Microsoft. So Microsoft Dynamics is a family of integrated business applications for small and mid-sized organizations and divisions of large enterprise. It provides application and services for retailers, manufacturers, wholesaler, distributors, and service companies. So we have Microsoft Dynamics includes Dynamics GP, Dynamics AX, Dynamics SL, and others. So we have the what we call the Microsoft License Compliance Verification, or commonly known as Audit. So it is a formal, mandatory compliance review for companies use Microsoft products and services, and it is part of Microsoft license and contract compliance program. Microsoft conducts industry standard compliance reviews with the business customers through independent auditor pursuant to the terms of their agreement. So we have different types of Microsoft audits. We have two: the formal audit and the SAM assessment. So the formal audit, if the audit reveals greater than 5% non-compliance, customer is responsible for paying the cost of the audit. While for some assessment, it is called unofficial audit. By those familiar with Microsoft auditing tactics, customer pays for required license per pricing and their then current agreement. And the next is Sage. So Sage software offers automated business management solutions including accounting, human resource, payroll, fixed asset management, customer relationship management, and e-commerce software. It is the most powerful member of Sage software family is MAS 500. For the background of MAS 500 is the complete enterprise management solution that was developed to help companies manage and streamline operations. So some of the features of Sage are a full set. We have the Sage Pastel Auditor, which analyzes trend, produce management accounts, as well as full set of financial statements with notes. In a matter of minutes, it provides big picture view of your client's business, making job of analyzing the data more meaningful. So the Pastel Auditor is so advanced when integrated with the other programs. It intuitively draws relevant information for them. So some of its features are a full set of lead schedules can be extracted simply by clicking on them in the financial statements. And also a transactional level drill down facility is included. And the Sage Pastel Auditor can create a trend analysis and GL level. And adjusting formal batches can be created to immediately update financials. So those are some features of the Sage Pastel Auditor. And the next slide is the softban. So softban is not more likely on the audit software, but it is on the ERP software. So it is a leader in providing next generation enterprise software for business in the hospitality and manufacturing sectors. It is an ERP software, and the fourth shift edition of SAP Business One was provided by Soft Brands to meet the unique needs and dynamic small and mid-sized businesses. And the fourth edition enables emerging companies to streamline their operation and managerial processes with SAP-centric solutions. So that would be all for my report.
Okay, let's stop there. Um, I just wanna ask about itong you mentioned kanina ni Peter about sa ACL. Siguro is ACL a ano a software in itself or paano siya nag-incorporate sa mga software ang ACL?
Na jud siya ano sir, software na ACL desktop edition.
Ah, okay. So is dili siya kanang like Java or mga programming language na incorporated lang siya sa mga software. Oh,
Based sa mong reference book sir kay ang ACL is software jud siya sir na siya own tutorial kani sir then manuals pod.
okay. Okay, okay. So I thought kan siya no, incorporated siya. But tong language po yung gigamit ganina no is that makita gid pud to siya sa mga kuan, sa mga audit software. For example, no, ang pinaka-common yung ginagamit ng audit software of course is Excel or spreadsheet. And ito nga mga commands, itong greater than, less than. And also, just wanna share some experience with katong dimension nga audit software like SAP or SAP and also Oracle. So with SAP, na nakagamit ko during audit in which gitagaan mi og access sa ilang SAP yun nga software and makita na ko didto nga tanan processes starting sa sales nila from their POS, 'di ba? Like pag-enter sa sales, also um, sa pag-bill at nga sale until payment, even ang flow sa inventory kay ang naka-nindot sa SAP kay kuan siya graphical kay siya dili siya kanang puro words lang bitaw. Um, lagi siya kanang mga flowchart nila nga kuan and very ano siya, advanced siya nga software ang SAP na sa nanindot yung graphics na dili siya more on words bitaw like I don't know if nakakuan ba mo og QuickBooks naka ano nga ang QuickBooks kay more on mga logo, mga words nga makita nimo, example cash cash receipts, books na ang SAP kay interactive siya nga ano nga software na kina-advanced siya. And also connected no ERP man siya, connected tanan mga enterprise nga mga processes. Okay, like nakita na mo dito ang inventory, nakita na mo unsa ang measurement nila sa each type of inventory, whether weighted average ba or FIFO. So detailed kayo siya ang system. No, so kay if accounting system lang man dili kayo nimo makita gyud ang mga details, for example sa isa ka inventory. So helpful kay siya ang mga ERP kay if auditor man god you will not just be looking at the numbers. So dapat makita pud nimo even no ang the type of inventory. So if with the ERP ma-check nimo ang kanang inventory unsa na siya nga klase kay nato yung mga ano ba ay mga inventory titles na di na mo mag-gets kung unsa siya ang term basta kay related siya sa murag box ra bitaw siya. Pero pag check na mo sa details sa inventory pato day nga box kay ano ito siya nga box elevator dito siya nga box. So dito na namo nakita pag open na mo sa unsa to nga inventory, nakita na mo dito nga ang definition niya kay kana day siya nga box sa elevator. So helpful kay siya no kay tingala mi nga mahal kayo ni nga box. Box ra man kada siya. So mo dito siya elevator box siya with the help of the ERP kay nakita na mo ang inventory detail. And then also with Oracle, I've experienced good firsthand sa Oracle while while working at M. Montes Claros na Oracle is just a simple siya nga software actually. Um, more on words ra gid siya. Words ra siya but it's very um tawag ana. Mura siyang Android. Compare nimo ang Android ug ang iPhone. Ang iPhone kay user friendly siya kay dili kay ka maka customize. So ang Oracle kay Android siya nga pwede nimo ma-customize imong mga search results, imong interface, yan ang simo makita. So yun na ang benefit sa Oracle. However, it needs pod siya nga higher ni mga skills or advanced skills in using it and it takes time yun. So I think that's the mga help sa mga software. Okay. So sige, let's proceed.
Good day, everyone. I am James, and today I'm going to talk about other audit softwares. But before we delve into each of the softwares that I've chosen, let me first give you a brief overview of the things that I've included in my report. I have included IFS, Epicor, Acumatica, Unit 4, and Dolibar. These five audit softwares are mainly chosen because of their ability to have a cloud-based ERP system, and cloud-based computing system and ERP system is the most latest nowadays since it is connected to the cloud and it is easily accessible even uh, for users outside uh, the country that is originating from. Moving on, next slide please. We have here the IFS audit ERP system, or commonly known as Industrial and Financial Systems, which is a multinational enterprise software company headquartered in Linköping, Sweden. And the company develops and delivers enterprise software for customers around the world who manufacture and distribute goods, maintain assets, and manage service-focused operations. As I've said earlier, because it is a cloud-based ERP system, it can it can accommodate those companies that have operations internationally. For example, uh, it is a cloud-based system that assists business to collate data and process across different departments and locations. For example, if I have a business here in the Philippines and I have another branch there, or an outpost in America, for example, we can still collate our data and process across different departments and locations because we are using a cloud-based ERP system. Moreover, IFS includes functionalities for enterprise asset management, enterprise management, and service management. And it is a unique enterprise resource planning software that is extremely easy to use, unlike some ERP suites available in the market. The IFS ERP system is specifically designed to help business adapt to new technologies and evolving market landscape, and it provides users with end-to-end enterprise asset management. Uh, IFS has over 4,000 employees that support more than 10,000 customers worldwide from a network of local offices and a growing ecosystem of partners. This means that even though it's not mentioned in the top auditing software, it's still one of the biggest since it has a customer base of more than 1,000 all over the world. Moving on, some of the capabilities that it includes are the human management, project tracking, supply chain management, inventory management, document management, and business process control. As we can observe, it is a very versatile system, and on top of it, it is very easy to use based on the user reviews that I read on their website. And now we now move on to Epicor. Next slide, please. So Epicor is a software corporation. Epicor Software Corporation is a business software wherein the company is based in Austin, Texas, and founded in 1972. Its products are aimed at the manufacturing, distribution, retail, and services industries. Epicor provides enterprise resource planning and customer relationship management, supply chain management, and human capital management software to business customers in both software services and on-premises in deployment models. Moreover, I have researched some reviews about the software itself. So based on the user reviews, the pros of this software is that it has a comprehensive ERP functionality and it has extensive documentation and training available, meaning that you can easily get to know the software better because there is an extensive documentation of the processes or how to use the product, and there is training that is included with the package that you're going to purchase. However, the user have also noted some cons for this software, such as its process flowcharts are not that standard and it's maybe too complex for small to mid-sized enterprises. However, this could easily be combated with their extensive documentation and training for the software to be used. But then again, it needs time for you to get the hang of. Uh, and now let's move on to Acumatica. Next slide, please. So Acumatica is founded in 2008 and is a technology provider that develops cloud and browser-based enterprise resource planning software for small and medium-sized businesses. The company is headquartered in Kirtland, Washington, and Seattle in metropolitan area. So this is more commonly used by small and medium-sized businesses. However, we all know that SMEs and SMBs are the most uh, are the businesses that are most common and contributes the most to the economy. Therefore, we can like think that Acumatica is very user friendly since it is businesses. Some of the pros I've gathered from my research was that it's on premises or cloud deployment. It has cloud deployment and it has a robust amount of costing methods and works on many databases. It has solid reporting and non-user based pricing accommodates growing companies, and it has browser-based app makes it easy to use for mobile devices. So it even has an application so that you can monitor your the data even in your at the ben at the comfort of your own finger of your own home, and that navigation is easy. More than that, I've also gathered some cons for this software, which is its estimating license costs can be difficult. It has its standard report filters may need customizing, and reliance on third-party add-ons needed if implementing ERP for companies outside the manufacturing or distribution vertical, and it has unusual pricing structure. But overall, Acumatica is designed as software as service application, and it delivers an excellent option for those needing a scalable financial and enterprise resource planning platform. It is also a well-balanced app featuring a modular architecture that targets ERP, general ledger accounting, and inventory management. So, with all of that, with all of that said, uh, it has its pros and its cons, and we can use it however we like, especially if we are small and medium-sized businesses. For our fourth software, we have Unit 4. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. So Unit 4 is a software company that designs and delivers enterprise software and ERP applications and related professional services for people and service organizations. So this mainly focuses on those in the service organizations with the public services and non-profit sectors. It has subsidiaries and offices in 26 countries across Europe, North America, and the Asia Pacific region and Africa. So Uh, legacy ERP systems were built to serve manufacturers and product-based industries and were not designed to cope with the dynamics and aspiration of service and government, which thrive empowering their people to drive excellence and innovation. This is where Unit 4 comes in because Unit 4 ERP helps the finance, HR planning, and teams to adapt quickly and grow revenues without needing to increase manpower. They do this by a suite of personalized ERP capabilities specifically built for the service-centric organization and is uniquely capable helping you plan, manage, and optimize complex resources on a domestic and international scale. Uh, ERP needs of people-centric industries are clear solution to an intuitive user experience with a flexible architecture that moves at the speed they do. Otherwise, innovation is hampered and cost to adapt explode. And your unit ERP meets and exceed those needs by offering consumer-grade experience combined with enterprise strength and no longer their people and business process have to conform to your software. It is very straightforward and easy to use software based on the reviews and because it is constructed logically, so you don't need to know everything from the top to bottom in order to find what you're looking for, and that it's easy to become familiar with. And it is mostly for inventory management for the service organizations, and it it did a pretty good job, and it's fast and easy to use software. So some of the cons of this software is that it has too much functions and information sometimes makes it harder to find what you're looking for, and it makes a bit inefficient for first time users, but it's still easy to get around. Overall, it is a great app that could help those services organizations in their uh, in their audit softwares. So lastly, we have here Dolly Bar. Next slide, please. Dollybar ERP CRM is an open source free software package for companies of any size, foundations, or freelancers. It includes different features for enterprise users planning and customer relationship management, but also other features for different activities. This founded on 2003 and it's headquartered in France. Dollybar is a good choice of on-premise or cloud deployment modular design content management module that lets user create and update your their website since it's an open source and free software package for companies. It is bad in the aspect that the HR module doesn't offer additional features such as payroll. And at the end of the day, overall, the open source software that helps organization manage various systems function in one system is a great deal for its like its price or for what its cost. So again, it includes several core modules such as the customer relationship management and sales, product and stock, human resources, finance and billing, marketing, content management system. I'm done with my report. But however, we should also we should all remember that these application exist for specific reasons and specific uses. So it is up for us to browse for what works best for our company and for our organization. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. I am James Hikilan, and now we will be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of using audit software. So, we will now be discussing what pushes organizations and companies in incorporating audit softwares in their accounting system, as well as their reasons as to why they do not adapt such audit software. So, first is that we will discuss the advantages. So, next slide, please. So be forewarned, though, that information presented in this part of the report is not explicitly stated in the primary reference materials, but is uh, gathered from different sources in the internet. So I have only listed the major common advantages and disadvantages from various articles, and we have already been presented the some of the advantages and disadvantages from the reports of the previous reporters, as well as to the um, examples given by Sir earlier. So next slide, please. First is the advantages of using audit software. So first is we have data examination is more rapid. Second, data examination is more accurate. Now, this is because of the use of computers. So as we all know, computer has the ability to ease the workloads of um, workers in their field. So using audit softwares, the data examination, data analysis is conducted more efficiently and more effectively, producing a more um, truthful or more accurate uh, results in their findings. So third is that useful in examining large amount of data. So as opposed to manual accounting systems or uh, manual accounting systems which utilize the use of audit softwares has the ability or has the capability to process large amount of data in a very small amount of time. So this allows workers or the auditors to have more time in analyzing the results and not on examining this large amount of data. So next is we have it gives auditors practical acquaintance with live files. It provides new opportunities for the auditor. Yes, it does because in using an audit software, the auditor needs to have the technical capabilities to um, operate in full functionality the abilities within that certain software. So it provides the auditor a new set of skills also. So six is that it overcomes in some cases loss of audit trail. So in some cases uh, audit trail may be lost, maybe because of some unseen circumstances that occur during the audit procedures. However, in an audit software, there are certain features that allows you to recover those that have been lost and to preserve your data in the cloud. So this will allow you to work uh, efficiently, even though your some of the informations that you have had in that audit procedure was corrupted. So yes, so now we are at the last of the list in the advantages of using an audit software. We have a relatively cheap to use once setup cost has been incurred. So the audit softwares are indeed expensive during their at first in the acquisition part. So we will discuss that in the disadvantages. So now we will proceed to the disadvantages of using an audit software. So next slide, please. So I've only listed four major disadvantages of using an audit software, and that these are the most common disadvantages that I have found. So in in using an audit software, it can be expensive to set up or acquire, as I have mentioned earlier. And that's as what Richard have mentioned earlier. Audit softwares cost a lot of money, which is not affordable for everyone. Not all companies or organizations can afford the cost of using an audit software. Therefore, some opt to use other alternatives. So that's why there are still some companies who are still using manual accounting systems despite the presence of audit softwares in the market. So next is that detailed knowledge of systems and programs is required. So yes, since audit softwares needs to be operated by knowledgeable individuals in order for it to produce the best results possible for such software. That's why the company may incur additional cost in training its employees, in training its auditors to operate the software. And aside from that, updates is regularly made in an audit software. So each year, some audit software updates its software, and which may lead to another new sets of skills that needs to be learned and relearned by an auditor. So it demands a detailed knowledge of systems and programs in operating an audit software. So next is the possible incompatibility with client's system. So audit software has its own computer language. So there is no one size fit all for an audit software because each of them has I use different languages which is sometimes incompatible with the systems used by
Isa
a
mo man,
client.
scam.
So
Ano, post na ka mo.
that's why it is important for an organization or a
Ito
company
man to,
to
personal na
purchase or to
kuan.
acquire an audit software that is in line with their
Pero
business
kasi
or with
ano
the
siya dapat
systems that they have
sa
in
direct
place. So
accounting
next
skill
is
number.
the last of the major disadvantages of using audit softwares is
Dugay-dugay naman itong
cyber
murag
security
ano nila
issues.
verify mo nga
So
dugay naman.
since it some
Ug dito
most
sila.
of the audit software stores information in the cloud,
Hmm.
it is susceptible to cyber attacks by hackers, which may lead to um, theft of information, and also uh, viruses and bugs may damage or corrupt the data, and this may lead to a loss of information, which is perilous for certain organizations um, status or condition. So these are the major advantages and disadvantages of using an audit software, and that's all for my report.
Good day, everyone. This is Lasternil Makapal. So, after learning about the pros and downside of the audit software, I will be discuss the current concerns surrounding the audit software. So, but before we get to the main topic, let me define the meaning of the contemporary issues. So, contemporary issues is a problem that is currently affecting people, places that has not been yet remedied completely, but it depends on the situation. So this could be an issue or a matter related to natural cultural environment. So the following are some of the most pressing challenges that may be confronting auditors today in relation to audit software. So next slide, please. So in the first slide, it is the pirated software licenses. So plenty of people utilize pirated software, and audit software is not an exemption. And some people utilized to save money and avoid paying much. So we all know that software piracy is illegal. Copying, installation, use, distribution, or sale of software in any way and other than express in the license agreement. So therefore, software industry is facing huge financial losses due to software piracy. So when a software is pirated, it is used without the owner permission because of the device, duplication, installation, sharing of license keys. Pirated license keys can be found in almost everything setting to some degree, and they are quite easy to obtain by the users. So piracy occurs in the context of wide range of vendors can result to significant compliance related expenditures being incurred. So these sections offers guidance on the most effective strategies for dealing with software piracy within your business and software publishers. So in the preparation, it is the most effective form protections again an audit. So understanding the strategies that vendors and auditors use can put you one step ahead of the game when it comes to identifying risk and maximizing optimization opportunities during an audit. Most successful in lowering compliance expenses are those who continuously monitor their license positions and conduct self audits of their environment on a regular basis. So next slide. So, and then the second next slide is unfamiliar features to users. So different problems arise due to the features in the software. So this includes software audit virtualization and software environment designation. So in software audit virtualization, it is possible for virtualization to result non-compliant behavior in variety of ways, and software possible of virtualization to result non-compliant behavior in a variety of customers adhere to non-publishers, continually take advantage of his by insisting that their customers adhere not contractual norms to manage licensing in their virtual environment. So this section describe the strategies employed by a leading software publisher to increase the amount of money they receive through virtualization compliances. So whereas the software environment designation refers to the majority of the software publishers use distinct licensing requirement for different contexts, including production, development, and testing, disaster recovery, and failover. It is possible an environment designation could be unclear in the failure leading to inaccurate assumption being made by the software auditors. So will be a rise of total cost of software audit bill. So a look how to spot faulty assumption made in the audit report about environment designation, as well how to verify the licenses are appropriately recorded by the software auditor are provided in this part. So next slide. Next slide, please. So changes are costly. So some incidents such as changes in the client system may occur. So however, this alteration may also cause a problem which is financial factor. If there are changes to the client system, it will necessitate the modification of the audit software which will be very expensive. And next slide, please. So next one is a software audit extrapolated findings. So when the auditor software scan result in a poor level of inventory coverage, auditors may resort to an extrapolation strategy to fill the gaps. So this means that they will take the findings from to an piece of environment and make some assumption that they are applicable to remainder of your environment. So which is incorrect. So extrapolation result in really correct result are frequently oversimplified and are overstated when compared to actual compliance exposure. So these sections describe the approaches from preventing software auditor from employing an extrapolation strategy, as well as the method of right-sizing audit findings to the appropriate level of details. So next slide. So next one is the unbudgeted financial exposure. So software audits cause disruption in operations, occupy resources, and might use result in significant anticipated financial risk that was not anticipated, even where enterprises invest in the people, process, and technologies necessary to track and manage their entitlement and deployment data. Software asset management or SAM system frequently fail to guard against the frequent and aggressive supplier audit despite the fact that they have done so. So it is well known among industry professionals that software audits are an important component of supplier sale efforts. So in order to address compliance issues, audits are used to drive in revenue acquired, visibility into product usage, and encourage enterprises to adopt new products or cloud solution to protect and also to protect themselves from the methods. Clients must first have through grasp of their own SAM programs, contracts, deployments, and entitlements, and then learn how to combat them. So that's it, and that's all in our report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, reporters, for that discussion. So, I can confirm na kanina that with regards especially to cloud-based ERPs na they are really prone to bugs and errors. So, during my tenure in a private firm, we were also using Acumatica or Acumatica. Kini Acumatica, it's a cloud-based ERP and isa sa mga experience good is that it continues to update. Sila lang gina-update ang software in the same way nga atong mga application sa phone gina-update because daghan gyud mga bugs and even errors may be caused internally sa ilaha and possibly pod nga because naay nang hilabot nga outside party. And kato gigamit namong Acumatica for our payroll system in which didto miga input sa amo ang DTR, daily time record, and maka-affect gid siya because sometimes dili na mo ma-input ang whole 8 hours kinaay error sa system and it affects the company. So, kini siya nga topic no audit software giisa lang naka ni because um, theoretical man gud kay siya. So it's really it's best good na ma-experience ni siya hands-on. So hopefully during your OJT in your fourth year maka-experience gud mo ani nga mga software and hopefully makakaan mo og private companies kaya usually private companies ang gagamit ani nga mga software, ERP, audit software and the other softwares. So through this no kay when you are in your working stage na kanang trabaho na mo kay dili mo ma-shock nga na din nga mga software and really there are a lot of software out there depending on the type of company you're employed, either agriculture or real estate, retail. So lahi-lahi gyud og gamit because kana pod um, ang mga software developers pod ila pong ang ilang kuan pod is niche pod ilang ilang way nga makakuha sila og customer dili sila nga generalized gyud. So okay, I think that's it no. So thank you reporters. Please send your PowerPoint and the short quiz to sa classroom and then I think we'll have to cancel karong afternoon kay na-move ang mga extension tomorrow. So we will be preparing this afternoon. So let's meet na lang sa Thursday for the next reporter. The same time, 10 to 11:30. And then the other three groups next week na dayon. Mag-set ra kog time because we also have napud mi lakaw next week. So,
Okay, sir.
okay. So, any questions? Okay. If
So
n-
far, sir.
okay. If none, then happy lunch and thank you for joining our class today. So class is dismissed.
Bye, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank
Bye,
you
Thank
sir.
for
you,
Thank
the
you, sir.
teachers.
talk.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.